What's up? It's your girl Deja D, and today I'm here getting ready with Vogue. I'm going to be showing you all my makeup look, and it's going to be super fun, great for Valentine's Day, and a few little tips and tricks and products that I've been using to help it not transfer onto our mask, since we're living through a pandemic right now and we have to wear our mask. Make sure you're wearing your mask. So without further ado, let's get into my updated makeup routine. So the first process and the first thing I like to do in my makeup routine is my eyebrows. A lot of people like to do their face and then their brows, but I just think this is a lot simpler for me. I haven't mastered that technique of doing my face and then my brows, still working on it. But if it's not broken, we're not going to try to fix it or alter it or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my brows. And as you see, we need a nice little wax, but we can still make this work. So I'm just going to be using my Wet n Wild dark brown pencil, and then I have this little spoolie right here. So let's go ahead and let's fill these in, and then we're going to go ahead and carve them out and all. So as you see, I love doing this like ombre brow technique to where it's like faded in the top and then it kind of like, you know, deepens up. So what I do is I kind of draw two lines above, and then I like just spoolie this out, you know, like blend it all in together. Now I don't really try to go too far back because I do want it to like maintain that fullness and everything, but I just kind of like blend that out with my spoolie, and then I fill in whatever is necessary in the brow. That's a little trick, just a little sneak peek, a little trickety trick. Remember, brows are sisters, not twins, so they don't need to be super perfect. We don't aim for perfection, we aim for greatness, not perfection. Nothing's perfect, okay? So the next thing that I'm going to do now is take some concealer and go under the bottom. Now I used to do concealer at the top and the bottom of my brow. However, for a more natural look, I like to use foundation on the top and concealer at the bottom. So for concealer, I'm going to use this Ruby Kiss concealer, and this is in the shade Fawn, and I'm going to use that to carve out the bottom of my brows, and I'm going to use this flat concealer brush to do so. So now y'all see how the brows are looking. They're looking good, they're looking nice and clean. So the next thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and take my foundation. For foundation today, what do we want to use? Lately I have been using the Juvia's Place Magic foundation. Let's actually keep that up. I'm going to be using, this is their I Am Magic foundation. It is the matte, velvety matte foundation. You want to use something more matte for the fact that we're wearing a mask and everything, because it won't transfer as easy as a dewy one. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this to the back of my hand. For primer, I'm going to be using two things. So first I'm going to spray my face with this Mario Badescu just to kind of wake her up just a little bit. And I already moisturized and washed my face off before I started. And next I'm going to be using this e.l.f. putty primer. This is a new one. It's a poreless putty primer, and I like using this. They have this application brush that I like to use with it, but I'm not going to be using. I'm going to just kind of go over it with my fingers. Make sure I really put that like in the crease area. So like my nose, this area of my nose creases a lot. Right here, like my smile lines, and definitely up underneath my eye for sure, because she be creasing. And after I have that on, first before I apply my foundation all over my face, I'm gonna just take that same brush that I carved the bottom of my concealer with and kind of carve the top of my brow with. Let me get my mirror before I go ahead and mess up everything. And for shade reference in the foundation, I am wearing Lagos 240. And now I'm going to take my e.l.f. sponge, I already dampened it, and apply all that foundation all over my face. A little trick I used to do when I had short hair is I put some foundation on my ear too. Like when I used to have my short haircut, I used to be like bling bling bling, just a little bit on my ear. Nobody knew. You just want to make sure everything is all blended. Just like you would take it to your neck, I would take it to my ear. It's a little secret. Shh, don't tell nobody. It's just for us. Yes, so I'm kind of loving this foundation right now. It definitely matches the girl's skin. It gives me life. So what we're going to do next is conceal. I like to have a really bright under eye. However, I want it to look as natural and as seamless as possible. So I'm going to show you my little trick. So my trick is to use two concealers. So I'm going to use that fawn shade. That's the one that I use under my eye, which would be like my normal concealer shade. Just like, you know, a little bit lighter than my natural shade. And then I take a super bright concealer. I'm going to be using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Pure Beige. And these two are really good. These are some of my favorite drugstore concealers that are super like inexpensive because they're really good coverage. You can build them up and they come in a wide variety of shades. So I have a lot of these in my makeup kit for my clients and myself. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take the shade Fawn and I'm going to highlight this. Like, I'm going to take a concealer brush. I'm going to really use the same one I used to do my brows because this brush, like, I don't use too many makeup tools. When I do my makeup, I use my sponge, I use this brush, and maybe a little powder brush. But for the most part, I try to keep it as minimal as possible. And tap it into my Fawn, which is that shade we use for our concealer, and kind of apply this right up in here. I really like to have it bright, and I like to go upwards so it gives you like a little fake makeup facelift. And I'm going to use this shade how I would normally conceal. Now what I recommend doing this when this is something new that I've kind of started doing with the two shades, because if I used to take this shade only and I'd be like, but I want a really bright under eye, and it wouldn't give me what I needed all the time. It'd give me like a regular, you know, nice conceal whatever. Or I'll use a super light one because I want that bright under eye and my face will look too light. It'll look like, you know, I went really light with the foundation and everything. So this is a little technique that I like to use for those girls who want that brighter look up under their eye, but they just like want to figure out how to get it done. So you want to take your regular concealer shade and apply this all over your face, right where you would conceal normally. Then what you're going to do, hold on, we need to apply a little bit more. Got this for like our mouth area and our chin. Just your places you want to be concealed. So what I'm gonna do is take my e.l.f. sponge and blend this out. Now that we have that done, we're done with Fawn. Thank you, Fawn. You did a really good job today. I'm gonna take pure beige, excuse me. And you could go lighter than this, but I think this is fine for right now. And taking that same concealer brush, because no need to switch, and apply this light shade directly up underneath your eye. And you could go lighter. It's all up to you. Some days, if I'm really trying to go for it, I'll go lighter. And we don't need to blend it out all the way just yet, because we want to put the our blush on. So for blush, you see I'm trying to keep my eyes up so it doesn't crease too much. For blush, I'm going to be using this e.l.f. putty blush. It's kind of like the putty primer, like the consistency of it and the look of it, like the primer that we use. e.l.f. has really been coming through, so drugstore girls, you better get with it. I'm using the shade. It does not have the shade, but this is like their dark berry color. I don't know why it doesn't have the shade on here actually, guys, but oh, is this it? Nope. Maybe it says Caribbean. So this is in the shade Caribbean. Another brand that I like to use for the liquid brush is the NYX one. This is their Sweet Cheek. This one is in the shade Baby Doll. It's a lighter pink, but I want to go with this darker pink today. And apply this right underneath. Oop, we need to put some more. Right underneath where we had the concealer. And I love using like a cream or a liquid blush because it really just blends into the skin. Of course, you could set it with some what's it called, powder blush afterwards, but I love to add this and just help it melt into my concealer and contour because she gives like natural face. So now what I'm going to do is take the side of my beauty sponge and melt that in. Simple too. You see how that just blends in? It looks so pretty. Like, yes, she's giving, yes, hello. She's giving natural. She's giving warm. She's giving skin right now. It's giving skin. Now it's time for us to set our face. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Wet n Wild Photo Focus. This powder is really, really good drugstore or drugstore product. I didn't try the Airspun. I didn't try the Maybelline, but I really love this Wet n Wild powder and it's super inexpensive. I want to say it's like $2 or $3. I love it and I'm using the shade Banana. So what I like to do is really make sure this is nice and blend it in and flat before I apply the powder so the powder doesn't set creases. Creasing is a little natural, okay? And I press this in. Make sure you're going upwards. So you don't have to apply it. I apply like a thin layer and I'm kind of just pushing it all in. Now to contour, I'm going to go in with my Black Radiance contour palette and I'm going to be using, oh, and this is their dark to deep one. I'm going to use this middle shade right here and do my number 3, which is like 1, 2, 3. And for a little nose contour, I just kind of go like this with the side of the brush. I don't really do like a super heavy nose contour all the time. And to sculpt out it, I'm going to take a little bit of powder on my brush and kind of go like right here. So for eyes, I'm going to go in with a black eyeliner on my waterline, and then a liquid black liner for my light wing. I want to do like a small little wing and then bring it inwards. So we're going to do this really, really quick. All right. Okay, so I just did my mascara and liner. While that's drying, let's go ahead and get this powder and stuff off my face. So now that we have that done, let's go ahead and let's put some what's this called? Blush. For blush, I like to use an eyeshadow. So I'm going in with my Box of Crowns palette, and I love to use this, like this shade right here. This is in the shade Magenta, especially because it kind of goes with that. You still see, like, before I even put this blush on, you could still see that powder, that cream blush right up underneath here. If I didn't put any blush on right now and I just set my face, it looks good. But just to kind of really set that in there, we're just going to apply just a little bit of that. We're going to go ahead and spray our face. So to set our face, we're going to use the Mario Badescu again and the Morphe. So what I'm first going to do is apply a little bit of the Mario Badescu, just a little bit. All right. I just love the way that feels and smells. And then we're going to apply some of this Morphe. This is the mini continuous setting mist. And our lashes are drying right now. While that's setting and everything like that, we're going to go ahead and do our lips. Let's wipe off all this excess we have on first. And for lips, we're going to just be doing a nice nude. I hope you all are still there with me. We're almost done. I'm gonna go ahead back in with that contour palette and apply a little bit of some highlight that they have. So if you're looking for a really good, nice little contour palette, this one has the contour. You can use the dark shade, the contour shade, the like bronze, and you have a highlighter in here, which is super cute and natural. It's not like you know. I think the highlighting, like the super crazy highlighting phase, is kind of over. Let me know in the comment section what you think. I sometimes like to go there with my highlighter, you know what I mean? Like, I sometimes like to like really go there. And for gloss, you can use a regular nice little clear gloss, but I like to use a pink gloss. So this is the, I don't know the company. You all can see right here, and it's in the shade Kimberly. I get this from the beauty supply store, literally $1.99. And girl, she do it for me. This is just a really cute pink gloss. It does it for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get dressed so we could close off this video. So thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, well, I never said it, but this video was just a joke, more so of a manifestation. This is not a real video associated with Vogue. I just love their style of video, and I tried to edit this one up like it. Let me know what you all think. If you're interested in this wig, it was $20 and it's linked in the description box below. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Make sure you are subscribed. Follow me on my social medias. They're all in the description box below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.